Hello friends, welcome back to HT Educare. I am CA Himesh. We will be exploring one of the career options in the field of commerce today. With technology advancing in the fields of automation, artificial intelligence and robotics, it is certain that majority of routine and simple tasks which at present employ labor force will be automated in near future. This means that formal education like graduation, post-graduation will be less important in hirings. The answer to this is developing skills, talent, and uniqueness. Skills and talent can be categorized in two sections. First, a specific skill that a person possesses which is unique to himself, and second, which can be acquired through professional courses. So, in this video, we are going to talk about how to become a chartered accountant in India, what is the scope, timeline, and other aspects. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is a body set up by an Act of the Parliament. It's a statutory body established in 1949. Now let's look at some important aspects of the course. The vast area of subject knowledge provides ocean of opportunities. It has a lot of integrity and social responsibility. One of the most prestigious and respected professions. It is globally accepted and valued. Signature of a chartered accountant adds value to financial documents, and it is in demand profession. There are two ways to do the course. First, it is called the direct entry route, and second, it's called the foundation course route. Let us now look at the direct entry route. There are two exams which are to be passed, intermediate and final. On completion of graduation, the student has to register for intermediate course. He is required to complete a 4 weeks computer training course followed by 3 years practical training. After studying for minimum of 9 months, he is eligible for exam. After passing the intermediate exam, he has to register for final exam. He is supposed to complete a 4 weeks advanced computer training course in the last 2 years of his practical training. If the student wishes, he can appear for the final exam in the last 6 months of his practical training. He becomes a CA on completion of 3 years of practical training and passing the final exam. Let us now look at the foundation course route. There are 3 exams which are to be passed: foundation, intermediate and final. After appearing for 12th exam, the student can register for foundation course, study for minimum of 4 months and appear for the exam. On passing the foundation course exam, he has to register for intermediate exam, study for minimum of 8 months and alongside complete a 4 weeks computer training course. Then he is eligible for the exam. After passing the intermediate exam, he has to register for final exam and start his practical training for 3 years. He is supposed to complete a 4 weeks advanced computer training course in the last 2 years of his practical training. If the student is confident enough, he can appear for the final exam in the last 6 months of his practical training. He becomes a CA on completion of 3 years of practical training and passing the final exam. Now let us look at the subjects to be studied at each level. Foundation course has 4 subjects. Paper 1 and 2 are subjective type, that is theoretical, whereas paper 3 and 4 are objective type with negative markings. To pass foundation course, a student is required to pass each subject with minimum 40% marks and overall aggregate of all subjects should be 50%. In the intermediate course, there are a total of 8 subjects divided into 2 groups of 4 subjects each. The student has an option to appear either individual group or combined. Condition for passing is minimum 40% marks in each subject and overall aggregate of 50%. In the final course again, there are 8 subjects divided into 2 groups of 4 subjects each. In group 2, out of 4, 1 subject is elective. Here also, the student has an option to appear either individual group or combined, and passing condition is similar to the intermediate course. Now coming to the elective paper in final exam, student is given 6 options and he has to select any one subject. These subjects focus on specialization in a specific field. Now let us look at the best case scenario wherein we assume a student has enrolled for the course through direct entry and has cleared all exams in first attempt. Assuming that the student immediately registers for intermediate course after graduation, in order to begin 3 years practical training at the earliest, he completes the 4 weeks computer training course soon after registration. Along with practical training, he also studies for the first 9 months and appears for the intermediate exam. After passing the intermediate exam, he registers for the final course and completes the 4 weeks advanced computer training course in the second year of the practical training. In the final 6 months of the practical training, he appears for the final exam. On successful completion of practical training and passing the final exam, he is now a qualified CA. In ideal situation, the student takes approximately 3.5 years to complete CA course, which is before the age of 25. Now let us look at the best case scenario wherein we assume a student has enrolled through the foundation course route and passed exams in the first attempt. Assuming that the student immediately registers for foundation course after appearing for 12th or HSC exam, he prepares for 4 months and appears for foundation course exam. On passing, he registers for intermediate course, prepares for 8 months and appears for the exam. He immediately registers for the final course and the computer training course after passing the intermediate exam. On completion of 4 weeks of computer training, he commences 3 years of practical training. In the second year of practical training, he completes the advanced computer training course of 4 weeks, and in the final 6 months of the practical training, he appears for the final exam. On successful completion of practical training and passing the final exam, he is now a qualified CA. In ideal situation, the student takes approximately 4.5 years to complete CA, which is before the age of 23. Now let us look at some key takeaways. When we compare both the entry routes, it is observed that the early beginner has an advantage of 2 years. A student undertaking graduation along with CA course has advantage of studying the common subjects only once. 2 years saved by the early beginner can be utilized in adding additional qualifications. The CA course is relatively economical if self-study is undertaken by the student. I have added the links to the ICAI website and further contents which you can refer in detail for each course in the description box below. If you liked my video, kindly like, comment and subscribe the channel HT Educare. In the next video, we shall look at another professional course. Thank you.